Hi everyone. We are almost starting. Sarah, welcome. Good morning. I hope you're okay. Um, if we could test your video quickly in the next 2 minutes and your sound, Sarah, please.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Your video, please.
Um,
Awesome. Good. I think we will just start. I'm trying to get hold of Fiona and Mariam, but please go ahead. When maybe give it 2 more minutes, like at 2 minutes past time, then you can be able to start. In the meantime, the guys will start the YouTube at exactly 10 UTC. I wish us all a good webinar. Remember, Sarah, not to introduce the gentlemen in this, including myself. Don't introduce us. We are not in the panel. Thank you. Okay, I wish us all a good webinar. Thanks.
okay, so we'll give it 1 more minute and then we'll start. And I would like to request the panelists to please switch on their videos. Thank you.
My background is to be inverted. Hi, Wafa. Hi, Tayo. Sarah.
Hi.
Wafa, you are muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hi, Anna Michelle. Hi, everyone.
Hi, mine is inverted as well. How did you fix it?
No,
Anna Michelle.
we see it at the correct.
Okay.
The mine
Oh,
also.
you see it correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
No, me, I'm seeing myself with the thing.
Me too. But for the others, not.
Okay, yeah. To me, you both the
Yours is
backgrounds are
correct.
perfect.
Yours is correct.
Actually, Wafa, yours is correct too. But I'm
For
seeing
you,
myself
but
with
I
the
see
one-
it not. I see it in the opposite.
It's correct.
It's no,
Oh, then
I don't
that's
see it
good.
correct.
Oh,
I
okay.
see it correct. I see yours
Okay.
correct. And Itayo. That's it, Itayo. I
Yes,
pronounced
you
correct.
got it, Ofa. You got it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to get started shortly. Yeah, okay, so let's start. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you for joining us for another Afrinic webinar as part of the Afrinic webinar series. And the title today is Stories of Resilience, Celebrating African Women Shaping Digital Transformation. As some of you may be aware, on the fourth Thursday in April of every year, the International Telecommunications Union, that's the ITU, celebrates Girls in ICT Day. And the aim is to create awareness on the need for more girls and women in ICT, so in information and communications technology sector. So the session today, we have women who have been in the tech space in the African continent and actually beyond. And we are going to be talking about how they've managed to navigate this male-dominated field. So they will share stories, give advice, tell us about their challenges and how they've managed to succeed. And for the people who are just coming into the space, so the young women, maybe you have people that you can look up to. So the Afrinic webinar series offers an opportunity to engage in current dialogue about internet accessibility and robustness in Africa. And before we go ahead, please, you can tell us where you're joining us from. So type your name, tell us where you're joining us from. And if you have any success stories about African women, please also post them on the chat. My name is Sarah Kiden. I'm a research fellow at the University of Southampton. And before we go on, actually, I would like to say I'm really humbled to be moderating this session today because all the women that, when I saw the list, I was like, oh, these women have shaped my life in one way or another. So if we had time, I would tell you about an email that was sent, a WhatsApp message, a conversation at a conference, something that they did, leadership position that they helped mentor me into. And I'm really pleased to be moderating this session. So just so all of you know that I'm really humbled to be interviewing all of you today. Oh, I think by now everyone is familiar with how Zoom works, but just in case you are not, all the controls are at the bottom of your screen. So you have, chat, raise hand, you have a Q&A pod where you can type your questions and the panelists will respond to them during the panel, or I will read out your questions out loud. And I would encourage you to ask questions that are relevant to the topic today. So, Girls in ICT Day along that theme. And the session is being recorded and also transmitted live to Afrinic's YouTube page. And if you have some time, please also follow Afrinic on social media channels. Finally, we shall abide by Afrinic's code of conduct. So please be respectful as you engage with other participants, and someone from the Afrinic team will post the link for you to read more. So for our webinar today, we have Tayo, Tim, who is the board chair of AFTLD, the African Top Level Domains Organization. We have Anne-Rachel Ine, who is Digital for Development Consultant at Africa Ultimate Expertise. We have Wafa Dahmani, who is the Stakeholder Liaison at Afrinic. And I think Miriam will be joining us shortly. So to start us off, I would like to invite the panelists to introduce themselves, 1 to 2 minutes. I'll start with you, Tayo.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you for all that you do. Hello, everyone. Pleased to be talking to you from Abuja, Nigeria. I am an ICT, started as a software developer. I'm an organizational psychologist. I call myself an ICT enthusiast because I came into ICT, I slid into ICT, not having a degree in computer science or in ICT directly, but then I've worked across software development. I've worked across project management in ICT. I used to work for SAP, the software company. And then I came into the domain name industry, and now I serve on the NOMCOM of ICANN and also as the chairperson of the AFTLD ExCom. I'm very, very pleased to be here. One of the things that I do, one of the goals I have in life is always to improve the next generation of women. I believe that women can be everything that they want to be. And the internet has provided us a tool for us to be able to provide that impact for development everywhere we go. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Anne-Rachel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kiden. And good day, everybody. My name is Anne-Rachel Ine. I am a young, very active retiree. My last job was as the regional director for the International Telecommunications Union in Africa. And I have held several positions basically at the root of the internet with ICANN, the regional internet registries, and I've been, I would say, one of the early comers from the African region in this whole process. Founding member of quite a few of the internet or AF stars, as we call them, in the region. And I'm a policy wonk more than anything else. And I've spent, the past probably like 30 years trying to get the technical community to understand that policy matters and the policy people to understand how not to break the internet. And in between, I am just loving to see so many of the younger ones here, that I cross roads with for the longest time. And I really commend you for being here. There's one thing that I have to say up front, which is that I'm a proponent of STEAM and not only STEM. In the science, technology, engineering, and math, you need to art the arts. You absolutely have to add the arts because for me, an engineer that doesn't know how to make his passion or her passion felt so that the others can come in, it doesn't really help us much. So thank you very much for having me today. I'm very happy to be here with on this day with Afrinic and all of you, and looking forward to the discussion. Disclaimer, please. I have to go in the next 20 minutes because I'm also a member this year of the IGF Global IGF MAG, and we are in Geneva right now. We just finished meetings, but we have working group meetings that I have to attend, starting at 12:30. So thank you very much for, letting me go first on the questions so I can sneak out, please.
Okay. Yeah. So after Wafa's introduction, we'll do your questions and then continue with the rest of the panel. So Wafa.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I will not be too long. So I'm Wafa Dahmani, Senior Engineer, and I serve as Stakeholder Development Liaison at Afrinic, focusing mainly on engaging governments within Afrinic, promoting Afrinic development programs, and maximizing Afrinic membership benefits. In my previous roles, I led the DNS administrative and technical operation in Tunisia at the local registry, overseeing the local CSTLD and the local internet registry, before transitioning to the National Agency of Cybersecurity in Tunisia. I want also to add that I have a history of involvement in the internet community since 2011, and I'm honored today to join such distinguished panelists in this interesting panel about celebrating girls in ICT. Thank you.
Thank you to all the panelists. So I'll start with you and Rachel. So we know that this field is really male dominated, and you've given us a really good bio about the things that you've done. Is there a time in your journey which was like defining that made you feel that you belonged in this space?
Yeah, I guess I have to say that it is one encounter with a few engineers who, first of all, felt like, as a policy person, I guess I didn't have much to contribute to their midst. And being a woman was somewhat of a, yeah, what is she doing here? So when, ICANN first approached me to be one of their employees, a few of them looked at me and said, what do you know of the process, and what are you going to do there? We're not sure that you'll get, anything done. And I just said, watch me. So here I am today. It's all about not only, the confidence, but as I say, making your own homework. You want to do something, then make sure you know it and plow into it. And for me, whether it doesn't have to be, a woman thing. It's really for everybody. I've changed jobs 5 times in my life, and it's always been in places where I had more, 90% of the place was also always male. And I can tell you that there are moments when it's not been as straightforward, but I love the challenge of making them understand that, yeah, we not only are there, but we're there to stay.
Yeah, so sounds like a lot of navigating spaces that are uncomfortable sometimes. So yeah.
It is, and it's really just about also I guess I would say it's human interactions.
Mm.
Oftentimes I say to Ada, you will maybe relate to this. Oftentimes I say, as women, we're probably sometimes part of the problem because we're the ones who actually, raise the boys by saying, oh, you know what, boys don't cry, or boys don't do this. So somehow, sometimes it is important that we realize that I guess the ingrained behavior is coming from somewhere, and you just got to show them, having recognized that, yeah, we probably made some mistakes there, help them also come along. And I have to say that most of my life, honestly, at work, I've managed to get them to be with me. So that's good.
Yeah, that's very good. So since you're leaving in a few minutes, I'd like to encourage, if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand or type them on the chat or in the Q&A pod. I have one other question for you around the role of women. So looking into the future and how you think women can shape digital transformation, especially on the African continent.
There's one thing that I think everybody has realized, and that is saying, which is that technology no longer has empathy. And that is one thing that we cannot miss on our continent. Okay. When I came into this field, we were still at the premises of the internet, and a lot of people were looking at the internet as a field to bring people together, internet for good. We forgot about that. Right now, it's all about internet for money, internet for visibility, but visibility for what? Sometimes we have to ask ourselves. So there is a lot of critical thinking to exercise in terms of going into this field. And I believe that women, I guess, because of our background, because of the way we think, because of the empathy that we have in terms of, raising the kids, the communities, we can still bring a lot to, technology. And in fact, that is the most important reason why we should be there. Okay. When we say algorithms are having a hard time recognizing this, doing that, or going the wrong way right now, it is because also there hasn't been that type of empathy in building the tools. They're only tools, okay? When we go and say, oh, artificial intelligence, where do they get that intelligence? Okay, it is really just by collating whatever it is that we're saying today, what they're reading around on the internet. So if they're only reading one part, that is 49 to 50% of the population that is making the algorithms work, then that other 50% is out there. And it's like a football team. Unless everybody is on board, we're not going to win. Because part of the ones that are around may get hurt, and this is what is happening in the process. And we absolutely need to see that, the whole team comes in and the whole team plays. And, we absolutely have something to give to this space as women, and it is important that we be there, no matter the background. And that's one of the reasons why I said STEAM at the beginning, because in a lot of, I would say, countries, especially in our region, people will say specifically, oh, you have to have done STEM to be in this field. No, in fact, all sensitivities can come into this field because the field learns from all of the different sensitivities. Okay, so it's really important that we be there. And I think that's one of the things that every one of us should be thinking about as women. We all come with different sensitivities, and we have to make sure that those also work online, because the diversity and the inclusion will only come if that happens.
Thank you. So that brings me to another, maybe the final question, and I'll see if there are any questions from the floor. And so if there are any women who are, thinking of joining university, or they've started their degree, how would you encourage them? Like, what career paths do you see ahead? What kinds of skills do they need to build for the future? Because the technology space has changed over the last 10 years that I've been working, and I know it continues to change. So, yeah.
So again, one of the things that I want to remind everybody is that it's a tool. Okay? And it's a series of tools that should help us thrive, no matter what you choose. And I'm really not convinced by this obsession about, oh, you gotta absolutely have some super knowledge in this tool or that tool before you can make it. That is not true. If you're versed in what it is you want to do, the tool helps. But tool is not going to do it in your place. Or unless, I still believe that as humans, we still have a little bit of agency to decide if we want to be human robots or, whatever it is. But it is really, truly important that we basically flip the thing to come back to thinking, it is a tool that is supposed to help me, no matter if I'm in psychology, organizational development, agriculture, name it, e-commerce. If I say e-commerce, I'm as good as, how much I market what Aitayo wants, okay? The tool only is not going to help her. Even if I say, for example, I collate data about what she likes and I get algorithms to follow her and all of that, I still need to build something or craft something that she's going to still want to get. Okay? So that's really where I believe it is important that all of us still flip the question. It's not about the tool itself. It is about what we want to be. And then, the tool can help you be the best of what you're going to be. Because, if I look at our region, I'm still going to need my plumber. I'm still going to need my electrician. I'm still going to need someone to come fix that little intelligent box if it doesn't want to work, and so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So we have one question from Toko Mia, and then I think we'll let you go. Toko, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. My name is Toko Mia. I'm the CEO at Girl Hype Coders. We are a digital transformation vehicle for women into STEM. And I really love that you mentioned STEAM, because the unwritten lens, or the perspective that we often don't think about, is the fact that women are actually leading and dominating in the media and communication fields. In fact, that's a field where there is no problem or shortage of women at all. And so there is a perspective to look at both. I think my question goes into the role of mentorship. I think there are often times there is almost a mentorship gap in the programs that we roll out for capacitating women and girls. And I think on International Women's Day, it's so important. We play this awareness role, right? International Girls in ICT Day, and we need it. But we also need a more critical lens into career development mentorship. And this is something that is unintrinsic to me that I've found going on in my career. So I'll use myself as a case study, and it's something that I'm not prone to doing. And it's something that I'm not prone to maybe practicing in my career, which is that the people that I find that are more developmental to my career now, which is probably I can say mid-career. I'm CEO of an NGO in South Africa, so it's more like a mid-career phase, and I think the mid to senior career phase, and I think I'm trying to understand why is it that I've got this gap where female mentors or maybe struggling to open the doors or create the effective change. It's almost more challenging to engage with older women, especially older, more powerful women and women of stature. They're unattainable. They're unreachable. You cannot actually access them, especially in a professional setting. It's difficult to break down the mold or the barriers, whereas it's easier to get into that kind of space now with men, and I again say that that's not something that I'm used to or necessarily particularly enjoy. It just seems to be that my career is taking more of a perspective in this way. So how do we break down the barriers of women in leadership, and I mean big leadership like you, in this perspective? Thank you.
Thank you. And Rachel, if it's okay, maybe we'll take the second question and combine the answers because we don't have so much time. So Alice Lawrence, you have the floor. And if you could please keep the question short so we can.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Once again, my name is Alice Lawrence. I'm joining this call from Abuja, Nigeria. And my question goes directly to Annie Rachel. Thank you so very much for bringing that perspective on STEM, not STEM this time around, the art part of technology, how you make this appealing to people outside the ecosystem to appreciate what you're doing and then to come join you. Okay, so this has been a problem. I volunteer for a women organization within that's Women in Technology in Nigeria. They're doing so much. And the interventions they've done over the years is something that you want more community involvement and even government participation. So Girls in ICT was something, I have been part of it like in 2014, and that I think was the last time I got involved in that. And this is all because of the kind of response you get from the community, from government, and then from people you think should drive this. Now to have more inclusion, not just for girls and women anymore, but for policy makers or shapers and people who want to see that what you're doing is laudable and should join in. Now, if I want to go ahead and have something like Girls in ICT or maybe a similar project or program to just inculcate technology into the fabrics of what we're doing here in Abuja, maybe one of the local communities, for instance. Please tell me, because I do not know how to do this, how do I make this appealing? How do I, have to beg? Because it is literally you begging someone. Yeah. Hey, can you see how beautiful this thing is? And you need to care. And the person is not seeing it. And I love this art part interaction into STEM. Please tell me, how do we make this work? How do we now, break this stereotype, like kind of shatter it and bring in more people? I'm from the tech background. I studied engineering, computer engineering in school, first, second degree, and all of that. But then it breaks my heart to still see that we have very little people of my gender in this space. So how can we make this more appealing? And then to our representative from Afrinic, do you have any form of partnership with organizations, individuals who want to expand this territory, as in expand the horizon to bring in more people into the tech ecosystem? Do you have any form of support for people who want to take this up? I don't know if my questions are clear enough.
Yes, they are clear. Anne Rachel?
Thank you both, Toko and Alice. And I really heard you, and somehow, just like what I'm doing right now with some of the girls and young women in my country, I want to say first, please reach out. Sarah can give you my contacts. I'm more than happy to help. One of the reasons why I put myself on retirement last year is because I wanted to do the hand holding. Alice, I know how it can be daunting when you're facing, especially policymakers, to go to get them to accept. Toko, it can feel absolutely lonely to be where you are today. But there is a few of us here. So consider from now on that you have at least 3 mentors here and more, Sarah included, Susan included. Reach out. Let's talk about it. And let's make sure that we do our homework to find out how is it that you can take something to people and say, this is what is in it for you. And in fact, if we do it together, this is where this is what we can achieve. Okay. So it is really, really important. And in terms of, the motivation, getting people at certain levels to mentor you, Toko. First of all, as you say, there isn't that many women in this circle. And the ones that are there often has this pressure to not only be efficient, effective, the women, the mothers, the name it. It's probably not even, they don't even realize that they're not there with you. So sometimes a simple, hey, I exist, and I'm here. Can you help? Serves to remind, some of us that, yeah, you guys are around, and it's absolutely crucial that we also take care of you. So that's what I will say. And I offer myself anytime. This is what I put myself to do. So reach out and let's talk, okay? Thank you very much for having me. Apologies, it's already 12:30. I got to put the
Mohammed
watch.
had a question for you, but it's okay. We can let you go. Mohammed Diop had
Oh,
one
Mohammed
question.
Diop.
You have
No, what
one more
now?
minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I told them I'm coming, so 2 more minutes.
Mohammed, and then we'll go to you after.
Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate, and I just want to congratulate all of you. Mohammed is an African who has sisters, friends, wife, and kids who are women. So I get concerned about what you're talking about here. I just want to raise one point for you, because I think that for the past 20 years, we make a mistake of thinking that it's to the techies, to the STEM, to control the participation in ICT. And I just want to say that all that the different difficulties we have here, it is because we did not put things on the legal side, on the financial side, on the business side, and it's just where the weaknesses are coming from. So I just want you to raise the point that for the next coming years, we are waiting not to push ladies to the STEM as we did the mistake for the 20 past years, but on the legal side, on the regulatory side, on the how we get involved in policies. This is really where the power will come for the next coming years. So I just encourage, and I really heard Anne Rachel and about these things, that opening up all the different specialties, all the different areas get concerned. It's no more the power of STEM over the ICT policy or governance or empowerment coming from communities. So this is just what I want to push for, and I really encourage you to open up and to think about how you're going to build the new ICT capacity building for all the women, no matter if they are from STEM, legal, power, or whatever. So this is really the challenge you have, because you represent more than 50% of the African continent in terms of numbers, and we get concerned about how we're going to empower you, based on our local languages and our local realities, kick off the barriers, destroy them, and make an inclusive community. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mohammed. And thank you, Anne Rachel. I'll give the floor to Wafa, but if you have to go, we really appreciate the time that you've given us today. So yeah, over to
you.
yes. Wafa?
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Just to follow up for the question, I think of Alice when she asked if Afrinic is supporting girls and women in ICT, and I say yes, we are supporting the diversity in ICT. Arthur already has shared an interesting link. You can go there and discover what we are doing to support girls in ICT. And I also they asking me to slow down. Okay, I wanted to inform you that we have established in Afrinic 6 internet development programs. One of them is diversity in ICT. Goodbye, Anne Rachel. And you can go to the link where I shared it and see that we are supporting initiatives that support the diversity and support girls and women in ICT. That's what I wanted to add.
Thank you very much. So now we'll go on with the rest of the panel. I apologize to my panelists for seeming like I had ignored you. And we've now been joined by Miriam Slimani. If it's okay, maybe she can introduce herself and then I'll ask a question to you, Etayo. So Miriam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, first I apologize because I was confused by the time. UTC. So my name is Miriam Slimani. I'm working for the African Telecommunication Union. I'm in charge of the development sector for Africa. Now I'm based in Kenya for 10 years now, and I'm engineer, and I have a master in telecommunications, especially specialized in data networks, IP, MPLS, and I was project manager in Algeria for the backbone of IP MPLS in 2000. And I started my journey in telecommunication in 1992. I have many years in this sector, and I was I also had several positions in the Algeria Telecom as a director of providing digital solutions to big accounts like ministries, like big companies, petroleum companies, and that's it. And also was working to develop digital solutions for eGov. I'll stop here.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for joining us. So I'll go to you, Etayo, specifically talking about the CCTLD, so country code top level domain space, but also internet space in general. For you, so you shared a bit of how you got into the space. Maybe you could tell us how you got into the CCTLD space, the operator space, and was there a point you realized that you were making an impact in the industry?
Yeah, so it was 2012. I was representing SAP in our national, one of the national bodies that we have. And then I saw this woman and she said she was from .ng. And I said, what's that? I was in tech, but I hadn't really thought about DNS or the way that the internet works, And then I, started talking about NERA. And it was interesting then, many years later in 2017, so 5 years later, where I got a call saying that they were looking for a chief operating officer for the Nigeria Internet Registration Association. So when I came in, like I said, I came in because of the skills that I had built, not necessarily because I had DNS skills at the time. I came in more operationally
than for the fact that I had DNS skills. And then I met the registry, had to learn, of course, if you're a software developer, it's a little bit easier for you to come and learn operations in the DNS space. And then I noticed that there are so few women in the ccTLD space. It is amazing. It's like it doesn't exist. So even within the industry and within ICANN and within all the SOACs, the CCNSO is the one that is still quite challenged in terms of how people understand exactly the impact for ccTLDs, how they're able to apply this work in their various countries. Policy becomes a little bit more challenging when you talk about the sovereignty, and the CC of a country pertains to the sovereignty of the country. So it's a little bit difficult to say these are the policies and this is how it's going to be applied across board. So when women come into the CC space, it's a little bit challenging to look at the operational side, the technical side, the business side, making a CC, making it attractive to the community is a little bit difficult in most countries, possibly because most countries think that it's government and nobody really wants to put their content on a platform that can be pulled down. This is a good platform for me to say it is not government. All the CCs are owned by the country. It's actually a national resource. And so we all must come on board. So that's how I came on. And then I got interested in how we can start to support younger CCs. So that, I think that was what triggered my interest in AFTLD, becoming vice chair and then now becoming chair, because we have the more advanced CCs that are stable, they have the tech, they have the skills, they have the people, and then we have the less advanced TLDs that were delegated in the last maybe 3 to 5 years and have not even built their operations and their business. So there's still a lot of work to be done in the CC space. And so there's a lot of things that women can do to come into this space, because it's about community. It's about community, it's about business, it's about commercialization, but it's about patriotism as well to our various countries and to our continent.
Yeah. So I have a follow-up question, because I know we've also talked about this on a separate project about women in the CC space.
Yes.
If somebody wants to break into the space, how do you think they should go about it? Because I'm sure there are some people who are attending today and they don't know where to start.
Well, there are not enough CCs for us to all break in as employees, but I think that a reseller space is a good place to break in as a reseller, particularly if you're business inclined, because being a reseller gives you access to the registry application to an extent. And if you're more interested, then you can really learn the back end of the registry. You talk about security, you talk about the DNS tech, you will talk about the business and the marketing side of it, because you need to make these domains available. And then you can also now become active in all the communities. The IGF is another excellent place because it's a broader, it's looking at the internet at a broader level. And I've been on the MAG of the NIGF and also been on panels for the West Africa IGF and the Africa IGF. So, that's a good place to see how the CC is key into policy, into the governance of the internet in our various nations. And if you take the CCs out of the drive, the governance and the policy drive, there's going to be a huge gap that will not be filled. So I'll say to younger people, you want to come in, yes, look at ICANN and look at, the CCNSO and that space, but also look at the reseller space and look at reseller and registrar space if you're big enough to become a registrar. That's a good way to come into the industry, I would say.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So moving to WAFA, I know we've hinted here and there the challenges, but can you share a bit of your personal story, the challenges you faced as a woman and how you've overcome them? Because that's very important as well.
Yes, thank you, Sarah, for this question. Before, let me start by saying a word to affirming the place where I'm working today, that I consider a welcoming workplace for women. an inclusive also workplace. And I want to thank also my colleagues who are there, who are supporting me today and helping me in my work. This is a word that I wanted to say to my team and Afrinic. And the proof of this, Afrinic is organizing this day for women and diversity of women in ICT. Unfortunately, my start in the ICT workplaces was not as good as it is today in Afrinic, because I joined it when I was freshly and newly graduated as an ICT, as a telecom engineer. I joined a male-dominated workplace where the culture there is really men-oriented. They were not that welcoming. I think the challenges that I faced are the common changes that all women have faced 25 years ago when I started. I really experienced gender discrimination. The culture of the workplace may cause me to feel that I need to prove myself, if it's not all the time, but some of the time. I was given tasks under my capacity and performance. I don't participate to team meeting and technical events. I'm not part of the team projects. I also don't benefit of any mentorship and trainings. Things were running as if I was in a private male club. So I think the challenges I faced, I can categorize them as challenges of social perception about women's capabilities. The idea of rational versus emotional remains deeply embedded in in the consciousness of our society, and this dichotomy of rational related versus emotional lends credence to the suggestion that women are not just as cut out to work in tech as men. So you can see also I challenged the workplace culture which was men-oriented. Also the problem of balance between work and life, because they argue that even when it's a matter of promotion, they give the priority for men, because they argue that they are more flexible in working hours than women, in ignoring that we have more responsibilities and we have to establish the work-life balance, a healthy work-life balance, which have a good impact in the whole society. Because if we don't do this balance, we will not have a good educated and prepared children for the society. They ignore this role when we are working, also this important role of women when they work. So not only we are trying to bring added values to our work, to our local workplace, but also we are impacting, and we have the impact on the next generation, because we are also responsible for the families and the education for the children, or whether they are men or girls or boys, to prepare them for our African society and the African future. So I think that also I had the problem of the challenge to benefit of mentorship and trainings, which can hinder my progress in my career. I have to fight for that during my start in my workplace. And how did I come up all this? I think that despite all expectation, when you face such challenges, you think that you will fail. But for my case, these challenges make me challenge also myself. Here comes my ego, why I am here, why I spent all these years of studying. I have to give back. There is the investment that my father made in my education. I have to give back the support of my husband and my family in my work. So I started by already building capacities online. I was studying online courses and reading online. Since we have internet, I have to benefit from that. And I don't know, I will perhaps come to the response of the other question. I also decided, since when you be passive, you can't go anywhere. You have to make your voice heard. So I decided one day to go to the manager and ask him to give me my real task, the tasks that are in my job description. I have to the right to benefit from mentorship and training that are described in the career management policy of the company that he has to respect. It is true that when I made my voice heard, things become to change a little bit. However, it's not that change that I wanted, because when I said when it comes to promotion, they will prioritize men, arguing that we are not, we don't have really flexible working hours like them, and sorry, I lost the idea. So I then decided also to propose and suggest projects, even they don't involve me in the project within society. So I try to be to innovate, to show myself, please, I am here, I want to work, I have an added value, so consider me in the work. And in the time, things really changed, but also the important impact in my career was, and I go to the next question, perhaps I will give the response later, my involvement in the community, and when I was mentored and where I benefited from some sponsorship outside my workplace in the African community. We can go later to this point.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, and things I actually relate with around like making your voice heard and letting them know that you have skills and you are available actually to take on this work. So yeah, we'll move on to Miriam and maybe talk about ATU specifically. Afrinic has shared some resources that they have. Does the ATU have any initiatives that are supporting women on the continent? And how can we access these resources?
Of course, ATU is very keen to support women, especially the participation of women in the preparation of the big conferences like ITU global conferences, WTDC for the development sector, WTSA for the standardization, and WRC for radio communication. We have some good guidance to make sure that the delegation who are attending the ITU statutory meeting will be joined by women delegates. At least 30% of the delegation should be ladies, to make sure that the views and the ladies are fully integrated in the decision makers, in the discussions. And we also have rules regarding the setup of working groups. We have many ATU working groups, and we have this objective to have balance between ladies and men, having at least one lady chairing or vice chairing a group, and also make sure that all regions are represented. We also have the Digital Innovation Challenge, where we really encourage women who are proposing innovative ideas, innovative projects. And we were very lucky this year. The challenge we had this year, we almost get 50% of contestants of women, and the first year the winner was a lady from Egypt. So we do a lot to make sure that we have ladies in decision-making process, in sharing, in also having girls participating in ATU activities, in ATU initiatives, in different sectors, and also we are involved together with ITU in the network of women, and make sure that we participate and we provide also we push this platform for, we also have a good partnership with a network, an African network for women called RIFEN. It's shared by Côte d'Ivoire, Miss Regina. And we do some capacity building programs for women on ATU activities, on some topics that will help them to better participate in the global events and make sure that they understood the challenges, the objective of these conferences, how we are also voting for policies, how we negotiate with other regions, how we developed our African common proposals on, and for this year we are preparing, we are contributing in the amendment of the WTDC resolution on mainstreaming women in ICT. It's the resolution 55, and we'll have a good contribution from the next conference to be held in Azerbaijan this year. This is, I think, and we, of course, we can do more in this area, but we need, of course, more support and more coordination with other African organizations, with our partners, and to have enough resources to continue the promotion of girls in ICT. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I see people on the chat actually asking for the links. And if it's possible for Brice and Susan, maybe we can compile them and add them as part of the show notes on YouTube so people can access them. Yeah. So
Yes.
we'll move. Thank you. We'll move to Eitayo, and maybe we'll talk about the gaps that you've observed in the ICT sector, the things that affect girls and women particularly, and do you think that tech policy can support, like help women to perform better in this space?
So, just going through the question, I was thinking that, we can't throw away the cultural perception that women should do lighter, in quotes, courses. And the point is not necessarily it's not necessarily ICT education or STEM education. We're talking about the education of women in general in Africa, and we have to approach it from a holistic point and not necessarily from a slim point. Because if I give a woman a first degree, it just opens her up to the possibilities. I mean, technically, the first degree tells you how to think. And now, I mean, you know that you have a PhD now, Dr. Kaiden. So you know what I'm talking about. It's at the level where you're getting a master's and a PhD that you start to be able to question what you've been told. So we should think about access first. We need access to education, not just ICT. We need to reach the mothers. We try to reach mothers where we are. We try to bring them to us. But it doesn't work because she's not going to leave her stall and come to you. She's not going to leave her clinic and come to you. She's not going to leave her kids and come to you. We have to find a way to bring the education to the women, to the mothers, to say that boys and girls need to be educated. The continent needs to move. To do that, we need to educate boys and girls. We need to mentor at every opportunity. We need not wave off things that happen. I do it a lot among my team, my staff. I run a consultancy, and every time I say, oh, why was this not done? People just want to say sorry and go away. But it's not actually about the apology. I want it to be a learning opportunity. So we need to bring the learning opportunities into the communities. When we talk about internet access, when I talk about internet access, I'm not necessarily talking about people being able to check social media. For me, I'm talking about education. So I'm actually in the education for all SIG and ISOC. And for me, the focus is educating everybody, and not just educating in STEM or in ICT, but giving a holistic education that allows the girl child to say, I want to solve problems. In order to solve problems, I want to use technology as a tool. And whether I'm using technology as the internet or technology as applications or technology as hardware, I am using technology. I want to be able to apply technology as a tool. So we need to provide access, but we need to provide access in the terms of the communities that want to provide access. We've done too much trying to bring them to us. We have to take the internet to them. We have to take these policies to them. How many people will have access to today's webinar? Those who have YouTube. Those who are not on the Zoom call have YouTube. Is YouTube accessible in communities? Is it accessible, for people to go and watch in their own time? Are they able to even use smartphones? I love what's happening in Kenya. Every time I'm in Nairobi, I'm excited because I don't need to see a single currency. I can just do everything on my mobile. That is so amazing. And it's everywhere. I've seen it work in rural communities. So we need to take the education to them. We need to bring the girl child into education and allow her to make the choices that allow her to choose that they want to provide solutions in ICT. I think we also need to look at policy not as if we're helping the women, but as if we're helping ourselves. If you educate a woman, you educate the community. Many times, and this is what Wafa is describing, in the workplace, we have to fight so hard. And the assumption is that we're trying to make things easy for the women, but that's not what it is. We're looking at the conditions of the women and we're saying, we're talking about equity, not equality. That's what I'm saying. Equality says it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, I'm going to give you the same solution. Equity says I'm going to come and give you a solution that works for you in your role, in your capacity, in your gender. So we need to stop treating policies as if, in fact, I feel insulted when we say inclusion and we say 30% representation. It's not what we're fighting for. I am saying representation for whoever is qualified to sit. We are not saying 50-50, 80-20. No, we're saying representation for anybody who is able to sit. So take the gender off the CV, take the name and the tribe and everything, country off the CV. Can you give me somebody who can do the job? And if it means 70-30, whatever, 20-90, I don't care. We are saying stop considering that when you put women on a board or when you do something to encourage women, to give them the opportunity to come in, then you're doing a favor. We're actually doing the world a favor when we educate women. Women have much more influence than men do. And this morning something happened in my office and somebody was responding to it and he said, she's a woman. We also as women need to stop giving the excuses that I'm a woman, we do some things, we don't learn about it, we don't put extra effort into it, and then we want to also excuse it. If we want equity, if we want the men to come to the table and treat us with equity, then we also need to behave with equity and not expect that we'll be handed anything, on a platter of gold. There's no free lunch. So there's hard work to be done. There's a lot of impact to be made, and you have to be ready to roll up your sleeves and do the work. So I think in one way, it's policy and development and education for the girl child, accessing through families and women. On the other side, it is that the girl child and the woman needs to recognize that she needs to come up, and they say, bring your own table. If a space is not made for you on the table, that's what Wafa did. Bring your own table, create the table and sit. And I hope that helps, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So maybe Wafa can respond, and we have one question from one of the speakers. Well,
okay, so we want you to follow up on the same question. Yeah, I would add in the same way that what we have to do to overcome these gaps for girls in ICT, I think we have to run some strategies about, first of all, the first point is education. We have to encourage girls to perform, to go to and study STEMs. We have to provide some sponsorship and financial support for women and girls who want to have degrees in ICT, because we know that in our culture, some girls are not given the chance to be educated and to have some degrees. We have to establish some programs, and it is, I think it's about the government and the organization, and many institutions can help either locally or regionally at this level. We have also, and this is what we are doing today in this webinar, to encourage mentorship and role models by connecting young women with female professionals at ICT. We are here to connect with you, to share our experience, and give you the what you need to do to master and to work in ICT, and to overcome the gaps for women in this field. We have also to, as I said, highlight the successful stories of the women that we are doing today, and this webinar, I think, is responding to this point about roles and mentorship by connecting and enlarging the networking opportunities for women and girls who are here and can attend. Also, we can create platforms. I think Mariam has spoke about it for to facilitate networking for women and to train and mentor women on ICT. It's also very important to work with governments and organizations to develop policies that promote an inclusive workplace culture and implement family-friendly policies. Like Etiado said, we have to establish equity, not equality. So we have to work with governments on this and develop these policies for flexible working hours for women ICT. That's what I wanted to add.
Thank you, Wafa. And there's a question for Eitayo in the Q&A pod. We'll read it out loud for those who are joining on YouTube. So Alice is saying that everything that you said sits, and she's feeling like throwing in the towel because it's really, really challenging. And basically looking for advice on how to survive beyond, getting the degree and the papers. How do you move forward?
So I think one of the things I'll say is definitely don't throw in the towel. Everybody needs to have a career path. What you see, don't necessarily take any other person's career path, because as you've heard from most of the women here, our careers have gone, different ways to bring them to where we are now. So don't throw in the towel. But what I would say about workplace treatment of women is many times when we respond, because a woman tends to bring her emotions to the fore, people are no longer listening because we are already responding emotionally. And I recall one instant where I had my manager shouting at me because I took a decision that was correct, and it was in the public office, and it was even in another country. And I had this big man, just shouting at me and telling me how I didn't dare to do what I should have done. I was doing something in the line of duty, and he felt slighted by the fact that I didn't ask him. And he was still grumbling and shouting. And when I noticed a lull, I just stood up and I walked to HR. And I said to HR, I want to report, harassment. I didn't engage with him. I didn't say a word. I just went to HR. So we need to build emotional intelligence that allows us not to take things personal, and to recognize that when I fix a challenge with this gender bias in the workplace, I'm fixing it for every woman that is coming behind me. So, what Wafa did, every other person who's joining the organization is going to benefit from the policies that were changed because of her input. But if you just take it personal and say, oh, somebody's picking on me or blah, 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 we get it. We become emotional, we bring emotions. And as soon as we start, maybe we're crying or any of those things, the men kind of shut down. And not just the men, even the women. Everybody kind of shuts down, and they won't take you. They're no longer listening to what you're saying. Everybody assumes that you're trying to use your emotions to drive it. So you have a point, but how you push the point across is going to determine whether you can make that change or whether you're just going to rant and, no difference will be made. And so I dealt with that. In fact, something really big happened to him, which I don't want to talk about because it's a public company, but I had to hold myself in and not respond. It took a lot, but I understood that in order to change this for everybody, the CCTV had to capture that I was not responding. So from the first word, I understood that I needed to hold myself in order to be able to make a case and articulate properly. As soon as you start to trade words, then you are as guilty as the other person. So there's a lot of emotional maturity that has to come in if you want to build a career. We are not there yet. That's why we're having this program. If we were there, we probably would just be saying people in ICT, but we're saying girls in ICT, we're saying girls in education. We're saying that there's so much that we still need to do. So I would say, ask yourself, how can you help? How can you, be better? How can you articulate better? How can you change the way that you're approaching? And you stop bringing yourself into it and, make it a policy challenge. Make it, let people learn that there's a way to treat human beings in the workplace, not necessarily a way to treat women or a way to treat men, but there's a way to treat people and there's a way not to treat people. And, if we take it from there, you probably would now have hope and focus, and you won't feel that somebody's trying to edge you out. Definitely don't let anybody edge you out. You have as much right to become the president of the United States as anybody else. So yeah.
I saw Wafa nodding, and Miriam, I think they want to add on to that. So Wafa.
Yeah, just a point about emotion. Please don't consider emotion a negative point, because we women, when we are head of any departments, we treat our team like our children. We want them to succeed. We give them all the tools. We make them benefit from trainings and sponsorships and mentorships. We are here to support them like a mother. So please, emotion is not a negative thing for women when they want to work in ICT or when they want to become leaders, because we treat the team as our children.
That's not to the men. So Miriam, you wanted to add on to that also. And then we'll
yes,
the question.
yes, I fully agree with what's said by the previous speakers, but indeed we need to be very smart in our relations. As it was said, we don't need to feel like we are different from the other colleagues. We are colleagues and we are on the same level. We have responsibilities, and nobody should don't respect you. You should keep respectable. If nobody has right to shout at you if you are doing something wrong. You should just show me. If I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong, but with respect. If I need to do something, just ask me with respect. It's very important. Respect in the workplace is important for ladies. If we start having this borders not respected, we'll be in trouble. So I would like to advise these young ladies who are coming in their workplace to make sure that you are respectable, you are speaking, and everybody cannot contest this. And emotions sometimes are good, but sometimes are also could give you some reaction that you feel like you are reacting like a woman. No, this lady is a bit. So, and of course, my sister Wafa said, we need as a boss, we are really keen to have a good relationship with our fellows. We are trying to treat them like kids, but also try to manage issues differently than men. Men are just giving instruction, you do that. But us, we try to get the best person to do, to feel what is good for this one, what is the best area for him or for her to be performant. So we are more optimistic and more strategized than men. Men, they are the chief, they are giving orders and instructions, and you should follow. But ladies, they need to feel like this task is more appropriate to this person and it will be better. And we try to do that and have better results in coordinating more, talking more, listening more, and having a good relationship to achieve our goals. And of course, myself, my experience, I still have good relations with my previous colleagues, my team. We are just like a big family, having a good talking after many years now, and providing advices, listening to each other's. And I do the same in my current position, having a very good contact, very good. It's very important to be in a good environment to grow in this space. If you are stressed, if you don't talk to each other, if you are not like in a confident with others, you are not moving well, and you get maybe burnout. It's very important to have this kind of environment in work and be feeling like at home, feeling like with a family, growing together, and having also a good management, a good leadership. It's very important. So that's what I want to add. Thank you.
Thank you. So Eva has been waiting for a long time. Eva, do you still want to ask your question?
Thank you, Sarah. It's Eva from Botswana. It's not really a question. I just wanted to share a little bit of maybe what I do or I used to do here in Botswana. Firstly, my name is Eva Gintsitswe. I'm a telecoms engineer, work for the regulator. Couple of years ago, I was tasked to ensure that the .bw is redelegated to Botswana. That was the task I was able to execute. Fortunately, at the time, my male supervisor, he facilitated that I grow in the space, but because of the transitions, a female one came, and that was when things changed. Sometimes, like, we were saying here that it's us who fight against us. And like all of us, if we give an assignment, we carry it through. We have been graced with that capability. So then it was a tough battle. Years would go by without attending any of the meetings to continue my work. At the time before COVID, some meetings were not aired online, So then lost interest because young engineer male engineers came in the mix, and they were the ones that were afforded what I was doing. Then, because of the nature of my profession, doing both computers and telecoms, I then drifted back to the telecom, but then tackling those issues of interest from the more regulatory and policy issues. So I taught myself what the ITUT is doing. I saw some that there are resolutions and they are guiding how we should do things. Then, I guided that even though we're already having our DNS into functioning, we also need to secure it. We also need to take it to the people. Those things at least were done. And I was also tasked to spearhead the formation of the cybersecurity function. So I won some fellowship to Germany, the SIG. Sarah, I think you remember that one, the SIG. Yeah. So when I came, it was, we were able to start something. Now we have a fully functional CERT monitoring, but it's a different team. I've moved back to the regulatory to say these are the resolution and they are guiding you on how to do. So I'm more on the standards now, but driving what I used to do on the internet side that way. So now we are implementing the internet infrastructure, the IPv6. So continually mobilizing those topics, looking at the resolutions from different standardization organization, particularly the ITU or the AZ3GPP, and I would have my internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Those who are currently doing what I used to do, the DNS management or the cybersecurity, I call them my internal stakeholders. So I take them through the standards processes and how things are done. So yeah, now we had Afrinic the other time, last 2-3 weeks back, taking the country. I called the executives, I called the managers.
I think I'm going to have to
it's okay.
interrupt you.
I was just wanted to show that it can work if you push your way differently. That the subject is broad, you can always approach it in a different manner, not just only technical. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing your story. I think it's actually good to hear these stories, really encouraging. So we have about 10 minutes left to the end of the call. And I have one final question to all the panelists. So if you were to go back, if you are 20 again and things like that, would you do anything differently? What would you do differently? And what changes do you think you'd want to see in the ecosystem? I'll start with maybe Wafa, then Miriam, and then Aitayo. Change the order a bit.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah, for the question. What I regret, if I go back, what I regret is the time that I lost waiting for the heads and for the team to consider me. The fact that I was all the time trying to improve myself, whereas I didn't need it, really. I had to make my voice heard as soon as possible. This lack of courage that I had at the beginning, I was newly and freshly recruited, so I regret that I was not connected to some role models like today that can give me advices. I also regret that I didn't engage outside my work in the community, the African community and the ICANN community, which had a really positive impact on myself and on my work. Perhaps we'll have another opportunity to speak about it. And girls here, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to help and support. I am happy to have met before Anne Rachel as a role model. Today I'm happy to meet Aitayo. I'm happy to meet Mariam, and also I'm happy to see Sarah as the new generation role models.
Thank you for creating the space. Like I said at the start, there are many stories we can tell about women who have gone before and created a space that has made it easy for some of us, because honestly, I feel like some of the things would have been more difficult if people had not gone before. So yeah, Miriam, and then Aitayo.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sister Wafa. Indeed, my big challenge, if I should look at 20 years ago, it was really managing my personal life and having balance between my career and my personal life. As you may know, these careers are very heavy, requesting a lot of time of you. You miss some familiar events, you meet a lot of maybe, but I was passionate. This is a good thing, and I really was passionate by ICTs, by this, and I'm still passionate. So maybe I'll if I go back, I will give more time to my people, my social life, and do things better. Because this passion will eat you and will make you always busy with these things, with your career, with travels, with communication. I want to advise the young people to balance between everything in your life. This is the happiness of life, to have this balance. Thank you.
Well noted. Eitayo?
I think if I were to go back, two things I would do differently. The first is I'll be more involved in the policy advocacy much earlier in my career. Earlier in the career, you're just trying to meet the targets and ensure that the job gets done. And you're not looking at how the organization's setup and policies, affect the way that you're doing the work. And you just sign anything, you're not thinking about how this affects, your life in the organization. So I think I'd be more involved in advocacy within organizations and outside. The second thing is I'd definitely network better. Even now, I'm trying to start to network, but then you become so busy. You're doing so many things that the time to actually network is almost non-existent. But I think that if you start early, then you've made all the friends. And then, as you go through your career, you're all holding each other's hands and not just focus, on my work. So yeah, those are the two things. And I'm trying to fix those two, actually.
Yeah, that's good to know. It's actually making me think about my life and choices I would have made differently. But I think most of them really resonate with me. The work-life balance, particularly, been so bad at that. Exercising, networking, reaching out to women who, perhaps even responding to talk, because sometimes when you see them out there, it almost looks like they are not approachable. But like for each one of you, like every time I've sent you a message, you've responded in, almost no time. So just reach out to them. They're human beings like us. So I think we are coming to the end of our talk, and I don't think we'll take any more questions, but maybe a wrap-up message from all the panelists, and we'll call it a day. So anyone wants to go first, or should I? Wafa, your microphone is unmuted. Yeah.
Yes, I will end up with some advices for the young generation, for the future leaders, women leaders in the tech ICT, the tech field in ICT field in Africa. I will ask them to embrace lifelong learning. Please stay curious and committed to continuous learning. Build your own strong network. Connect with fellow women. Seek mentorship and sponsorship. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for others to give you automatically some mentorship or guidance. Look for it and go for it. Take risks. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Take risk, please. You can succeed by taking risks. Stay resilient. Challenges will arise, but resilience is key. Learn to adapt and learn from the risks you face. And in the end, give back. When you succeed, share your experience and try to mentor other women like you. Thank you.
Thank you. Miriam?
My big advice today is we really have a huge potential with digital tools. Everywhere we are connected. Everywhere we are, we can learn. We have a lot of things. So I will advise, please put objectives, targets, and also plan your life. Don't just wait and see. Use digital tools to learn every day. Read. And if you are passionate about something, just as was said by Wafa, take risks and do that. Because when you love what you do, you are really enjoying your life. So this is my advice for young people. Learn, continue learning. Don't disconnect from the university or the research, continue, be curious about life, about people everywhere in the world, and make sure that you are reaching your own goals and you build your own life. Thank you.
Thank you. Etayo?
I'd say, I mean, they've said it all. I'll just add that you should be wary of the imposter syndrome. Be careful of the thing that tells you in your head that you don't deserve to be here, because it also makes you keep quiet in places where you need to speak up. So be careful about the imposter syndrome, and make sure that you recognize it when it comes up. There is no glass ceiling anywhere. If you just stand up, your head will break the ceiling. So don't think that anything is beyond you. And I mean, there's somebody who's been trying to meet with me on LinkedIn, a man, guy, and yesterday he sent me a list of solutions that can help me in my work. Just in trying to set up a meeting with me, he said, I have some solutions that can help you in your work. I'm thinking, that's nice, that's interesting. So even when you're looking for access, make sure you're looking for access with content. You know, don't expect that people will pick up their calls because you want to say hello, because we don't have a lot of time. So if you want to even select mentors, you want people to mentor you, make sure that every time you have an opportunity to speak with them, you have something, you know, of substance. You have a question, a very specific question to ask. You're not just, you know, rambling, because people actually are very busy. Most of us have to put our phones on do not disturb almost all day. So, you know, it's real. The busyness, it's not because the people are being difficult. It is because they wear many hats. And so just don't allow the imposter. Make sure you push through to where you want to be. Thank you very much. Thank you, Afrinic, for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to all the panelists. I hope all of you have really enjoyed. Someone has sent me a private message and they've said they wish we had more time to hear from, you know, other people in the room about success stories. So I think that shows that the session has been good. I've enjoyed it. I've learned some new things and I've reconnected with many of you. So thank you for sharing your advice. Just one more thing, Afrinic is going to send out a survey. So if you could please fill it out and tell us how your experience was and how we can make it better next time. Otherwise, thank you everyone for joining us, and have a good rest of your day, and happy Easter to those who celebrate Easter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Bye.
Kaiding. Thank you. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks, Wafa. It was lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
By the way, I said the XCOM before, you know?
Ah, yes, I know. I know the name. And I think that we have seen in some ICANN meeting or the other. Don't worry, the next time I see you, I'm going to grab you like a sister.
Surely.
Yeah, I know her. Awesome. All right, then. Enjoy your day. Susan, thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think the call is ending. There was one question from Alice about how to connect with the panelists. Yes, I think LinkedIn is a good place to start. So you could just look for all the panelists on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, yes.
Yes. Okay, then thank you, Wafan. Thank you, Afrinic, for the opportunity.
It was really good to see you. But I think I have to leave. Or shall I stay with the team?
It's still live streaming on YouTube. So, Brice, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Oh, Brice, what do we do?
We end the call. We are good. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. You were wonderful.
Thank you, Brice, for organizing this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, Dr. Sarah, please.
Dr. Sarah, yeah, Dr. Sarah.
Sarah is fine. Sarah is fine.
Oh, Dr. Sarah is fine for me. Okay, thank you.
She is a future great leader. You will see.
Yeah. No doubt.
So shall I say goodbye?
Yes, you can disconnect. I'm trying to. I will close it. You can disconnect, please.
Okay.